G'day, it's John O'Brake here for Monday Myth Check, and Monday Myth Check is that weekly round of reality where we look at myths and sayings and beliefs held that whilst in and of themselves are good and are okay, they can lead us down paths that maybe we don't intend for them to go. And today's Myth Check is the harder I work, the better off I am. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go into the world of saying that hard work is not a good thing, but we really live in a culture today where it's almost like we say, we say, hey, how you doing? And you go, oh, I'm good, I'm busy. And we always hold it up as this kind of this accolade, as this trophy that I'm busy. And so it's becoming a real problem in society that we're just too busy. And so one of the things that I like to hear more of is words like I'm productive or I'm doing well. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but I'm being productive, I'm organized, I know where I'm going, I know the purpose that I have, I know the strategy that I have behind it. And so these are some of the things that we're just going to have a little bit of a discussion today about when we start to think about this idea of the harder or the busier I am, the better off I'll be, or the harder I work, the better off I'll be, and how I want to really put that forward as a myth today. I see people who work extremely hard. They have poor health, maybe their family's struggling, maybe they're doing it to hide from something, whatever it might be. And so that really concerns me when we hear people talk about that. And so I am not here to advocate that hard work is not a good thing. It absolutely is. But what I want to do advocate today is just because you're working hard doesn't mean that you're better off. The idea of hard work is deeply ingrained in our society, as I mentioned earlier, and so one of the challenges can be is that whilst hard work in and of itself is good and we should work hard at the things we do, often when it's directionless or when it's just continual, there's no end to the season, we can get frustrated, we can burn out, we can do all these sorts of things. And so one of the things I want to do today is it's almost like we're going to unpack another 6 or 7 myths in this one myth. And so I'm just going to dive right into those and then leave you with some action steps at the end. So the first one is that hard work always leads to success. Now the reality is that whilst hard work is important, success depends on a lot of factors. And actually I've written a book called Your Most Successful Year. And one of the things I talk about in there is my definition of success is getting after something that you intentionally went to get after. So setting a strategy, setting goals around that strategy, bringing everything around it, and then getting after it, achieving it, and celebrating. That to me is success. And that's very broad because that can be in whatever area you like. A second one might be that just because I'm doing more hours means I'm doing more stuff, I'm more productive. Too many workplaces are still hooked on if they're doing the hours and they're doing the work, rather than trying to figure out how do I create a more productive workforce? Maybe they're not doing the same number of hours, maybe they're able to do more because they're being more productive, or maybe they're just being more fulfilled. And so that whole idea of productivity is not as closely aligned to more hours as we think, and that will definitely be a future myth check. The third one I think is that wealth is a direct result of hard work. Now there's no doubt that the wealthy don't just sit back there and just take all the money, and they've had to work hard, they've had to go through certain things. Even if they look like they're independently wealthy, there's still things they need to be doing to get to where they are. They've still got to work hard. And it's very easy, often through envy of other people, we just look at other people and go, oh, they got the good life. And it's like, no, they work hard to get that life and they sacrifice a lot to get there. But at the end of the day, wealth is not a direct result of work, but it is a result. The fourth one that I really came up with was this idea that the more I hustle, the more I push stuff, that I'm leading myself to this place of freedom. Now, at the end of the day, most people who are out hustling, it doesn't mean they're not enjoying themselves, and there's nothing wrong with the hustle in and of itself. But what can happen is I can become overworked. I can maybe even compromise, become underpaid. I might just work too hard and burn myself out. We talked about some of those things right back at the top of some of the generalities. So this constant hustle, I might rush into investments. I might not think through things as much in this drive to get a result. Number 5 would be rest and downtime is for the weak. Now this one will definitely be a future myth check. Rest and downtime is massively important to actually be productive, to take time to think about where you're going, to stop and rest, and to be energized so that with the rest of your energy, you can do way more than what you could do with all of your energy if you don't rest. So that's a really good one. Number 6, that passion and grit just overcomes any obstacle. Not true. Now, doesn't matter, it doesn't mean that passion and grit aren't important here. They are very important, and you must be passionate about where you're going. You've got to have some determination and drive. But some people are just driving, and they've got no idea where they're going to. And so this creates a problem because it's not just for them, but it might be teams or whatever, and no one knows where they're actually going with that. So passion and grit does not just overcome any obstacle. Again, it can be a way there. Okay, and number 7, successful people get there by going it alone. Now this one's deep for me, because at the end of the day, one of my passions, one of my missions, I guess you would say, is to eradicate this idea of loneliness in leadership, that feeling of being alone. And so it's just like, I did it my way. We do it all ourselves. We've actually already done a myth check on this. It's just not true. We are successful in community, and we need to drive and grow towards community. So what do we say about this as we start to think through this myth of the harder I work, the better off I am, maybe the more successful, whatever word you want to use there. And I want you to think about this. Where are you pushing too hard? Maybe where are you pushing your team too hard? Have a think about your purpose and your priorities. In the trail markers, we look at purpose and strategy as the 2 first things. Have you got those clear? Do you know where you're going? And does your team know where you're going? These are things that are going to allow you to pace yourself properly, to work through things that will matter, not just getting a whole bunch of stuff done. And so it also then helps you bring others around you who can carry this stuff with you. So you're not doing all of this alone. Whether you're a solopreneur or a solo leader or not, it doesn't matter. There's no reason to do all of this alone. And so I want to really challenge you today to think through that. Maybe use something like the Eisenhower matrix, the urgent important matrix, to put all your stuff into a matrix and figure out, you know, what is it that you're doing well, what is it you're not doing well. In fact, we may even put that up there for you to use and get organized. And if you feel like there's an area you want to talk through, happy to have that discussion with you. You can come and join us in the Forge Mentor community. The first month is always free, and you can get that help that you need and join a community and no longer do this alone. So that's Monday Myth Check number 5. The harder I work, the better off I am. I'm John O'Brake. As always, enjoy the journey.